following video is a copyright production of the Arkansas Association of High School Officials. Visit our website at aahso.com. The Arkansas Association of High School Officials, we're helping good officials get better. Technical assistance provided by Dax Hill, Greg Downham, Tyrone Blanks, and George Demetrio. Our video editor is Kenny Sanders. Our executive producer is Walt Coleman. I'm your host, Todd Allen. I can read the rule book 1,000 times, but it doesn't really sink in until I see it live. With Get It Right, I can see it live. GetItRightTraining.com. Enter the promo code AAHSO and let's get it right. Clear, simple, easy to understand language, the Ready and Study Guide to the NFHS football rules will make you a better football official. If you want to get better at the rules, get this book, the Ready and Study Guide. When you're through learning, you're through. Here we are, week 10, the final training video of the year. And I want to spend a few minutes just telling you how thankful I am for you to spend time each week with these training videos, working hard with our play bulletins and taking those online quizzes, doing all the things that we ask you to do to improve as a football official. And it doesn't stop there. You have to take all of that knowledge and get out on the field with your crew and do a great pregame and then implement these things on the football field. That's what makes you a better football official. That's what these training videos and all the training material that we put out, all the resources that are available for you from the association, that's what it's all about, just getting better every week on the field. And I'm happy to report that I've heard from athletic directors and coaches across the state, and they have noticed an improvement in the officiating, and that's a tribute to your hard work, and I'm grateful for that. So without further ado, let's get week 10 started with this first play on chop blocks. Now, this is an interesting play. Look at this funky defensive lineup. This lineup's just built to create confusion on the offensive line, which it does. Watch this in slow motion now. The tackle's going to cut. The guard's going to pull out and go to the other side, and the center's expecting this linebacker to come in, and he attends to shoot this A-gap, but gets blocked by his own player and ends up going to the outside. Well, the center left with no one, just helps on the line and goes high on this defensive lineman, but the tackle has already cut him, and this high-low combination block is, in fact, a chop block. And the umpire throws on this, but then the confusion picks up for the umpire, and he begins to doubt whether he actually had a high-low combination block. So he ends up picking his flag up and reporting there's no foul on the play. But we look at this on tape, and this is clearly just a classic high-low combination block. And high-low, low-high, anywhere, anytime on the field is a chop block and is a foul. And so we just got to trust our instincts on these plays. But what I want to say about this umpire is he called me to look at this play and to talk about it, and realizing this is just a learning opportunity, not being afraid of being criticized for picking up his flag and missing this chop block. And, and I just think that says volumes about an official. He knows we're going to pick this play up for the training film, but not afraid, not ashamed to have us pick through this play and help other football officials. And that's what these training tapes are about. They're not about pointing out your mistakes. They're about providing opportunities for other officials to learn from mistakes somebody else has made. And this is classic continuous improvement. This is how you prevent repetitive mistakes. So umpires, referees, also critical. Line of scrimmage guys, these can easily be tackle and tight ends or tackle guards that open up right onto you at the end of the line of scrimmage, and you need to recognize these illegal blocks, something that everyone on the crew should take note of. And this is a great play to review and to talk about in your pregame, show to your crew, and talk about illegal chop blocks. A little misdirection play here as the quarterback takes a running back one way and then dumps the ball off to a wing back going the opposite direction, gets out on the outside, and the line of scrimmage official here has to dodge coach on the sideline, drops a little flag here, and we end up with a sideline warning. Great time to issue a sideline warning, as the line of scrimmage official is not taken off of his track up the field, nor does he make contact, so we would not want the 15-yard penalty called here. But this is a great play just to look at and talk about, and an example of what would be a first offense warning other than a 15-yard sideline interference. But what I also want to share with you is maybe some tips on working this sideline, and we've talked about this in the play bulletins and in previous training videos. You just got to work every play to keep coaches and players back. But I want to show you this shot on the sideline, and you can see all of these players that are in the coach's box. And this is a critical element of working the sideline is you got to step around the coaches in the restricted area in a dead ball interval and get into their box and back these players up out of their box. I think it's important that you use the verbiage, players back up out of the coach's box, get them room to stand on the sideline. And when you clear that coach's box, and there's plenty of room for the coaches on the sideline to not be in the restricted area and not have to move around players, then that'll help you keep this restricted area clear, and ultimately that is our objective. So you work with the get-back coach, but you also work with the coaching staff by going directly into their coaching box and move the players back, speak directly to the players in the team bench area that they must get out of the coach's box, that this is an area only available for the 3 coaches that are supposed to be working in that box. So just be active in that. Kickoffs are a great time to back players up out of the coach's box. Any dead ball interval where you have a little extra time and we're in the team box area on the field, that's a good time to warn players to back up and just keep working. Keep working, be cooperative, but be consistent with that, and keep working to get these players back. And I think we'll get them out of the coach's box, and we can put the coaches in there, and we won't have these incidences on the sideline where we're running around coaches or near misses of coaches, or like we've had several plays this year where we've actually run into coaches in the restricted area. All right, this is going to be a targeting play with a disqualification. Pretty important that you pay attention to these plays because you're not going to see a lot of them every year. So you need to practice seeing these elements of the foul in someone else's game. And then maybe you'll recognize it, or at least improve your chances of recognizing it in your game. So what we've got is just a little handoff underneath. Try to get into the outside, and the safety comes up and wraps the ball carrier up. And then this play comes in, this hit comes in. And a couple of shots here to look at. Got the end zone shot, which you can see that the ball carrier is actually starting to the ground. So his position is changing, but the defender lines up and targets him. And also, I want to back up. I want you to look at this angle right here and watch the helmet of the defender here. As you can see, the face mask is facing the ball carrier. So there's a chance there to move the head and make contact with the shoulder. But notice the head goes down and impact helmet to helmet. And this is a targeting foul. And we did support this disqualification thrown by the line of scrimmage official. And it does come in late, which is not a bad sign, because what I noticed when I watched this video is this play is actually being replayed in his mind. And he is just making sure that he saw what he thought he saw. And so the flag does come in a little bit late. And that's much better than quick reacting and then getting yourself over a barrel and not knowing exactly what you saw. So just process these plays. A late flag is okay, because this is a correct call for targeting with a disqualification, and we support this call. Here we just start out with a simple pitch and catch between a quarterback and a running back, and working his way to the outside on the edge, and a defensive back coming from the secondary. Comes all the way in unblocked, and just as this ball carrier gets to the outside, reaches out and grabs the inside of the jersey and then pulls this runner to the ground in what is a classic horse collar tackle. And referee has this foul and makes this call. Headlinesman may have had a look at this, but it may have been actually behind him or behind the ball carrier, and he didn't get an angle at it. What's important here is referee focused up the field, the blocks ahead of the ball carrier, in the correct zone. We're working this play mechanically absolutely correct, and that's what leads us to this foul. This is a good pickup by the referee for a horse collar tackle. Properly officiating on this play. We get 2 looks at it, the wide shot in the end zone, and this is a correct call. Good job here. Horse collar tackle. This play brings up several interesting points that I want to talk about. And primarily for line of scrimmage officials, but for all officials, it's important to know the difference between a shift and motion. Motion only involves one player, and a shift involves 2 or more players. And we see a shift on every play, although we don't see motion on every play. After the players leave the huddle, when they're walking up to the line of scrimmage, this is simply a shift. And then if everyone has to get set for 1 full second, although we don't want to be overly technical on 1 full second, but everyone has to get set for a second. We have to have that momentary pause. And then at that point, a player can go into motion if they meet the other requirements of being eligible for motion. But what you can never have is an illegal shift or illegal motion before the ball is snapped. These do not become fouls until the ball is snapped, because if we reset after what would be a shift or an illegal shift, then as long as we reset, there's no foul. If we have illegal motion or the setup for an illegal motion, but everyone gets set again before the ball is snapped, then we can't have illegal motion. So those are only fouls simultaneous with the snap. Now, this play is a big indication. We got a flag down before the ball is snapped, but we let the play continue. That's virtually impossible to have. It's literally impossible to have. And if we have a flag down before the ball is snapped, we've got to shut these plays down because this is a false start. Now, illegal shifts are found in Rule 7.2.6, and false start is in 7.1.7. And let me summarize a false start. It's just anything that simulates the start of the play. Head bobs by quarterbacks, something we'll talk more and more about in the offseason, as we're seeing a rise in that again. But anything that simulates the start of the play, and that's what happens right here. Watch this player as we snap the ball, or right before we snap the ball. This is what causes our line of scrimmage official to throw his flag before the ball is snapped. This is a false start. What we need to do with these types of plays is just shut these down and rule them false starts. This is a correct call for a false start. But we let the play run and then call illegal motion. That's incorrect. So these are technical aspects of the game, but for line of scrimmage, this is your bread and butter. You got to get these plays right every time. We expect for these types of fouls, line of scrimmage officials to be 100%. So work hard, understand the difference between illegal motion, illegal shifts, and false starts. That's a great study point, and I've given you the rule references. You get those things down, and you'll get all of these plays right involving the line of scrimmage. That's it. Week 10 is in the books, and we are done for 2016 with the training videos. Thanks again for spending time with us. Don't forget about our digital magazine called Down and Distance, which comes out right after the first of the year. We'd love to hear from your crew about what's going on with your lives, maybe new kids, new grandkids, new job, anything that would be interest to other football officials. We would love to hear from you. We'll send an email out inviting you to submit articles or information for the magazine. Also, we'd like to hear about your playoff run, what you get, what you don't get, and maybe a championship game with some photos. We'd love to have that too. Just anything of interest for football officials. Down and Distance comes out right after the first of the year. For Walt Coleman, Dax Hill, Greg Downham, Wes Booker, Tyrone Blanks, Kenny Sanders, Matt Bivens, all the staff here at the Arkansas Association of High School Officials, I'm Todd Allen saying thanks again. We hope to see you on the field real soon.